Good day, good evening, and welcome to Getting Real with Paula. This week, we are rolling out the Building People and Communities team. When I started the whole Getting Real with Paula, it was all about being of service to the people in my community and to assist them to better manage this COVID reality we're in right now. As the weeks and the months have evolved, and considering that we are still trying to make sense of this whole world that we are currently living in, I was left with the sense that I needed to do a little more to support individuals as well as communities. So, my plan for the next month or so is to feature individuals involved in initiatives or programs that can help you that is listening right now, reassess and decide what could be ways, tips, or tools for you to reach a better and more fulfilling life for yourself and hence the world around you. So tonight we are talking to Kareen Aristide, a woman who is passionate about connecting women to one another. She has been the force and the mastermind behind the She Did It community, a movement that helps women and female entrepreneurs connect, grow, both from a personal and a professional perspective. We both, Karen and I, believe that women are a powerful source, sometimes untapped, and that each of us has something worthwhile to contribute to the larger world. So let's start this conversation. And I will start by asking Kareen, could you tell us a little bit about you? Who you are, what you do, how long you have been in this field, and what brought you to this project?
Wow, there's a lot of questions in one. But first of all, I want to say thank you, Paula, for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Uh, Really, I'm Kareen Aristide. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I have been in business since I would say over 15 years, and I love being an entrepreneur. It's been what has permitted me to raise my family. So I have a lot of hats, but the most recent endeavors, I would say. So first of all, I have a co-working space that my husband and I we co own together, and it's for entrepreneurs to come in. Some of them have private offices, and also some of them rent in order to do their events. And we also open it to community as well to do their community events. We've had all sorts of events from baby showers to weddings and all of that. So really great. And I also have a movement. We call it a movement. So it's a movement for women. It's a network for women, as you explained earlier, called She Did It, in French, Elle a osé. And I also love doing work for training and coaching in personal development and mental health. That is definitely a passion of mine. And so it's pretty busy.
And what Karen might not have mentioned, she has 5 kids.
Yep.
5 kids that she actually homeschooled. Right there, she's my hero. Yeah, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
we're all into it right now with COVID, and trust me,
Yes.
quite a few
Yes.
parents would say, What? Okay, but we're gonna continue this conversation.
Yes.
What
Yes.
are
Yes.
for you some of the lesson learned or discoveries that you've made during the pandemic?
Yeah. So really, it's been a challenge. It's been a big challenge for many of us, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. But what I found is many opportunities as well. And so the opportunities that have come from the pandemic has been tremendous for many people. And I think
Mhm.
um, once you get over the shock or the disappointments or the panic, you kind of can see the silver lining, and you can start seeing the possibilities, the opportunities that maybe you were too busy to see, or too busy to really allow your mind to invent, really.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Okay. And what are, because, you know, we want to get into a bit of the specifics.
No
Can
problem.
you give me, in terms of one major discovery, something whether
Mhm.
you've discovered about yourself, something about the business, or something about the way the interactions have, because you're talking opportunities.
Yes.
Opportunities is one of those words like everybody use, but what does it really
That does
mean?
it actually mean? I get that. Well, if I can, I have lots of examples, to be very honest. But if I talk about the movement, for example, the
Mm-hmm.
network, it started locally, and we were meeting in person. And so a lot of what we did really was, didn't require online. And so we had some things that were online, but we weren't focused on online. And
Mm-hmm.
when the pandemic hit, it really opened up the opportunity to pivot and to start doing a lot more online, which then opens up to the world, really,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're in person, only people that live around here can come. But when you're online, then you can have people from all over the world tune in, and that is huge, right? And so we've made some amazing discoveries of women all over being able to connect to what we do. So that was
Mm-hmm.
huge.
And it's interesting that you're talking about broadening our horizons, because that has been my experience as well through the various conversation that we've had over the last few months. It feels like we no longer have boundaries. We're spending, at least I know I've been spending a lot more time checking the time zones in
Yes.
order to figure out, oh, can I call? Can I? Versus what we never thought about it. It used to be Vancouver or Nova Scotia. Now it's just like, no, let's check India, let's check Germany. So
Yeah.
it is a change. So for a lot of us nowadays, even though we're confined in somewhat confined to our home,
Hmm.
it's as though the world is so much wider than it used to be, because we
Absolutely.
didn't even have a chance to explore it. We were rushing through things every single
That's
day.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Now, a great discovery. Can you also share with the audience what the She Did It movement is all about? Give us a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
And what is your vision for that community?
Yeah, so really the goal is to connect women together, whether you have a business or looking to start a business, whether you want to scale your business. There's something for everyone. The goal is to come together, collaborate, support each other, celebrate our wins, be there for each other when things are going, not too good, because that's the reality as well.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is not always rosy, and sometimes when you're in the midst of a difficult time, it's good to be surrounded with other women that maybe have gone through what you've gone through, or can offer advice, or even give you a different perspective to get over or surmount that challenge, right? So that's part of that. And also, our goal is to educate as well, and train and coach. especially during this season where many of us have to get online. And if we were, doing our business in a very different way and having to quickly pivot and have an online presence, it's a huge challenge to overcome by yourself. And so part of what we do is we offer resources in order to help with that. And we focus on 5 themes actually. So we have marketing, technology, sales, finance, and also wellness. And every week you can find some kind of webinar. And men are welcome as well, just in the webinar series, nowhere else. So we have experts coming in, telling us, explaining to us, their expertise on a particular topic in those 5 themes. And we also have networking events as well that we do, lunch and learns, just so many different tools and resources to help women continue their business or even start their business as well.
What I have to say, and I can't say it because my name is not Kareen. She's a wealth of knowledge.
Oh
I
boy.
don't think I have met someone, and I'm talking in the business arena, but also in the personal arena. She always knows, oh, let me look at the information. I think I know this person who does this, who could help you with that. And it's like almost everybody you ask, at least in my surroundings. You mentioned Karen. Oh, yeah, we know Karen. So whether you're in Montreal, whether you're in Toronto, it's like, oh, yeah, Karen. Yeah. And you're like, oh, my God. It's wonderful.
Oh
It's
wow.
wonderful from the perspective of having someone who is so good at building relationships, but also helping people better connect to one another. And that's technically what you're trying to do with that community. So
Absolutely. The vision
you
is
totally,
really, yeah, the vision is because I remember when I first started in entrepreneurship, and it's a scary thing. It's you don't just start and you know everything. And so when I started in the networking arena, it was so good to be surrounded with women that had been there, done that, and embraced me, and I was able to journey with them. And all these women that I met over the years, they have been such an intricate part of who I am today and the success that I have today. And so for me, creating a community where you can put all these women together in
yeah.
different ways, it's been just incredible to see that, right? And just seeing someone having an idea come to life is just, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
And I don't know whether you can feel there's a passion when she's talking about helping people, and it's and she doesn't have to know whether you're gonna give it. And that's the part I really like about her. It's not about, oh, how much am I gonna get out of it. It's really about, how can I be of service? How can I help you? How can I maybe direct you towards the proper resources? So it's, at least if you're starting in a business, or you're looking towards personal self growth, it's this sense where I don't know where to start, and for some reason there's a Karen out there. It's not a Karen, but there's a Karen out there. And if I was to ask, what is the hardest lesson you have learned, either as a mom or as an entrepreneur? Because homeschooling is huge. And there's people
Yeah.
right now that are asking, please tell me something I should know and I'm not doing right. What now?
So, I mean, that's a big question because I could talk in different spheres when it comes to that. But I think the biggest thing for me is really self-care, and especially for someone who is, like you said, very passionate about helping and serving, and being, just having the sense that if I rise, then the other person rises as well. But I need to take care of myself first. and make sure that I'm able to sustain, myself, whether it's personally or professionally, in order to be able to be that support or that help for someone else. So learning, having crashed a few times, just learning to take care of myself and to learn how to, prioritize and say no to different things and understand where I'm at, just being in touch with myself is really, really important. So,
I have to say, I too has a special heart for women,
mm,
and of course, I'm a woman, so it might sound self gratifying, but more than that, having been a mother, having been a sister, having been a colleague, I can see all the various hats we're wearing as women.
yeah,
And sometimes you kind of forget about yourself while you're taking
absolutely.
care of everything, whether it's the grocery, the meal, the homeworks, the somebody broke something out there, whatever it is, I'm there. And self-care is huge because if I
You.
keep stretching myself out further
Hmm.
and further and further, what I'm doing is depleting myself.
Absolutely.
And there's a sentence, I think almost everybody has heard it at this
Mm,
point. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
that's right.
So have to start by filling my own cup in order to be there for other people. And it's challenging at times,
Hmm.
especially right now, because I'm in my own house, both an employee somewhere, or I have to provide services if I'm an entrepreneur or whichever, but I also at the same time have to do the mommy thing
Yep.
and the wife thing or whatever it is. And it just feels like the two worlds are colliding. So how do I
Mm,
find my balance? And it's important. I have to say this has been one of my big
mhm.
messaging to women is just you don't have to be it for
Yes,
everyone.
that's
You
right.
just have to make sure you're it for yourself and
Mhm.
then figure out what are the small snippets that I can provide other people. In
Absolutely.
terms of self care, because I've heard you mention self care, how is that influencing the way you view life as a
Hmm.
person, as a mom, as an entrepreneur? Because things are always going to happen.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's a constant battle, to be honest, because
Mhm,
especially when you're a passionate person and you just love to do what you do. So that's part of, the motto behind the movement, which he did it is do what you love and love what you do. So when you're doing something you love, sometimes you don't even realize, that if you continue a certain activity, you are going to deplete yourself, So I have found myself, looking at my agenda and I'm like, okay, no, like I cannot,
mhm,
this is today, like maybe last week when I booked that or when somebody booked themselves in my agenda, that worked. But today it's not working. So before I would never would have canceled or, gotten hold of the person and reschedule for another time.
mhm,
Never would I have done that before. But now, I'm able to put myself first. And if I'm tired or if, I feel sick or under the weather, or if I don't feel uh, up to par
mhm,
to, whatever commitment that I made, I will say, what, I cannot do this today. We will need to reschedule, and I don't feel bad about it anymore.
mhm.
I used to, but now I don't because the person wants the best of me as well. And so if I do it half-heartedly, just so that I can either save face or not
Mhm,
disappoint,
mhm.
then the results will not be what we want it to be, regardless. So it's much better to learn to say no and learn to kind of rearrange your life when you need a
Mhm.
break. Yeah.
Um, Having been one of those women who try to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't think that I've met a project that I didn't want to at least try.
That's
So it was so pathetic because I've had multiple hats in my journey, but I remember in one particular moment, I was a full-time employee in one organization. I was teaching in another. At the same times, I was attending university classes on weekends, and I know you've done some of that too. And let's just say very quickly, you realize that 24 hours in a day
mm.
eh, seems like, can we please stretch it and stretch it? But we can't.
No.
So it's remembering, and I'm just going to use what we call an object to give people a visual.
Yeah.
Our brain is like an elastic.
Mm.
If we keep stretching it,
Yes.
eventually it doesn't go back,
Mm.
or it actually just explodes and there's nothing you can do with it. So it's for me to understand, if you overstretch yourself, you're not good for
Yeah.
yourself, you're not good for others. As I know
Absolutely.
that there
Absolutely.
are a few women that are watching, and this
Mm-hmm.
applies not just to the entrepreneurs, it also applies to those women in the work environment where
Yeah.
it feels like there's one more file I could finish tonight, or oh yeah, I forgot something, let me go back. Now that everything is in the same space, self-care also go with self-discipline.
Absolutely.
And part of the self-discipline is actually starting to put limits for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. The same way you would say, I don't think it's working for me no more, this day, this calendar, is for women to actually start paying attention, because our body does send messages.
Oh yes, it speaks to
Yeah.
you.
Sometimes it's people
Absolutely.
telling us that they're hearing a different message that we're trying to pass. Can you please pick up your things? So when we go there, they're not loving us so much. So before we get there, what are the other options? Yes, I've been a mom. Trust me, my children didn't love me all the time. And
That's
I've
right.
heard some conversation when I wasn't supposed to hear, and you're like, hey, okay, Paula, need to do a little something for yourself, because you're now, it's whatever you're stretching yourself into is actually having a negative impact on your environment.
Absolutely.
If, if I had to ask the top three nuggets, so we're asking you to take your whole life journey so far,
Wow.
and I know I'm pushing it. Am I not?
Yes.
And if there were three things, and whether you're looking at the women's that are watching right now, or you're looking at what would be those three nuggets I would tell my daughter
Yeah.
about that movement forward. How do you manage your life and your well-being? What would be those things that you would give them?
Well, the very first thing is really learn to love yourself. There are too many people that appear confident, appear, all put together, they do this, that, and the other, but secretly inside they hate themselves.
Mm,
And 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 no one would could tell by looking at them, and I think that's the most tragic thing. And so we put so much emphasis on our nice cars and nice houses and beautify everything, but the inner world is the most important world.
mhm,
And so you need to learn to beautify your inner world. And so when
mm,
you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're like, wow, like you are beautiful. You are amazing. I just love the way, your nose is or your hair or whatever. Okay.
mhm,
You find something that you find beautiful in the mirror, but what happens is if you start inside, it basically just comes out from
mhm,
you. inside, and then what you perceive is really the reality that's inward. So even
Mm-hmm.
if somebody comes to you and say, your nose is kind of big, like, but you don't have that perception at all, because when you look at yourself, you're like, my
I'm
nose,
gorgeous.
okay, like, so it's really a question of not basing your self-worth on what others say about you, but what do you say about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be like my first, because sometimes, like, even God, like, God loves you, but do you love yourself? And that is really sometimes the dichotomy that is the hardest thing to overcome. So whatever you need to do, you need to, take a course on You Inc., and make sure that you get to that place where you love yourself. That would be like my first nugget.
Okay. And the second, because we asked for at least two or three. So,
Yes.
what else would you share?
The next thing I would say is, don't limit yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Do not remove the possibilities that are out there for you. And I think it goes with loving yourself, because when you love yourself and you have self-worth, you're able to see that, what, I'm worth it. So I can invest in this or invest in that or create this or move ahead with this. So there will be no, I can't do this, this is too hard, or I wasn't born for this, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be there. It's going to be non-existent. So you will feel like you have, the world is your oyster, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean? So that's what I speak to my daughter as well. Like, there's no limits. Whatever you perceive, you can achieve, right? So that would be like my second nugget that I would say.
Okay.
All right. And my third, yeah, I just want to know, like, if you had something you wanted to share in between. That's why I'm kind of like thinking
I'm all
myself.
good. I'm taking notes too, just in case.
Yes. So the third thing, and I think that thing is very tricky, because um, when you surround yourself with people that value you, because first of all, you've valued yourself and you've believed in yourself enough to actually go ahead with your whatever project or whatever thing that you want to achieve and be. But first of all, before achieving, you have to be. I always talk
Mm-hmm.
about being before
Yeah.
doing. And so then, when you're ready to do, then you have to be surrounded by people that, believe in you and that are ready to, jump on board with your vision,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not alone in this world, right? So we need others, to, lift us up, or, to actually realize those things that we want to achieve. And so, being surrounded with the right tribe, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
a little plug for She Did It right here for all the
Yeah.
women out there that are looking for a tribe, that can really be the support that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and really the cheerleaders, because we all need cheerleaders, and also we need coaches, and we need people that will let us know, like, no, that
Mm-hmm.
is not the right timing, or not the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we love ourselves and we believe in our project, we'll be able to take in those, you
Yeah.
know, constructive criticism and take our leave. We won't be
Mm-hmm.
totally shaken if somebody doesn't, really see
Mm-hmm.
what we see and stuff like that, but we'll be able to take it in and, take keep what is good and reject what, we don't see
Mm-hmm.
that fits with our vision, and move forward. And you want those people around you that, whether you accept their idea or, their support, whether they have your support or not, but they still, the love is there.
Yeah.
And so regardless, even if you don't take their advice and then you fall flat on your face, but they're still there to support you. They won't be like, well, I told you so, and it's on your own. No, they'll be like, you know what,
Mhm.
I gave you this advice, but I'm here no matter what, right?
Mhm.
So though that kind of tribe is really important. So
And I would say, at least I work in the area of boundaries and self care and emotional well being. And what I've noticed is that sometimes, without even realizing, we are carrying this huge uniform. It's as though you got this uniform on and it feels as though I can't be anybody else. And
mm,
it's just like, but that's not who you are.
that's it.
And until you actually start taking the time to, as you say, love yourself, trust that what you have inside is good enough,
Hmm.
and start looking outside. Is this reality the one I want? Are
Yes.
those the is do I have the support to become what I've envisioned? The
Yeah.
funny part is when we're kids, guess what? I
Yes.
wanted to be a fireman. Then
Ooh.
somebody had to explain to me that it was only for men. And I said, no, I can be a firewoman.
That's it.
And I've done that it was with me for a really long time and never went into that field. But it was that sense that as a child, I don't have limits.
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself,
Exactly.
you have a dream and you just run for it.
Yeah.
And then we become adults and all of a sudden, oh, but I don't have the time, or but the kids are here, oh, but, and then you find yourself further down your journey feeling like I've missed out. My
Yeah.
thing is, if they take me tomorrow, I want to say I rocked it.
That's it.
I did it. I enjoyed it. I did and gave back the most that I could. And
That's
that's the
right.
portion that sometimes, if I don't realize all the power that is within,
Mm.
then I just keep trying to follow other people. So we have a lot of people that are just what I would say copycats of other
Mm.
people, while maybe
Yes.
inside you have something that's even bigger. It's not because it's not showing on social media just yet that it means that I'm not there.
Yes.
So it's this part where the belief in yourself, and as you say, I really love the way you say, uh, before achieving, you have to be.
That's
And
it.
it's this part where you have to figure out what is your thing, what is that passion within that you can pass on to everybody, to somebody. It doesn't have to be everybody, it has to
That's
be
right.
someone.
Very
And
key.
it could be my kids, it could be, I don't know, gardening, it could be whatever it is. But
Yeah.
find something you're passionate about that nurtures your soul and that is at the same time provide something good for someone else out
Yeah.
there. And that's the part sometimes in the rush, at least for me, the big lesson through the COVID was like, stop. Okay, is this working for me? What's not working for me? What can I
Yeah.
do about it? And when I start asking myself those questions a little more, then you start realizing maybe I'm investing my time. My children are complaining that I'm not spending a lot of time with them watching TV. And I'm like, but watching TV, I'm an observer. Why do I want to be an observer? I want to do it myself.
That's
I want
it.
to try. I want to explore. I want to experience. And yes, TV here and then is not the end of the world. It's not something bad. But if that's all you do, on your
Mm.
deathbed, you're not gonna say, "Oh, I wish I could have watched one more episode of Grey's Anatomy." Not
Mm.
likely.
No.
So
That's
and
right.
and and that's about where do I invest my time? Where do I invest my priority? Is it nurturing me?
Yeah.
So thank
Oh,
you very much.
you're
What
welcome.
Karen hasn't mentioned, and I'll do that because maybe she's a little shy about publicity. is that if you decide to join the She Did community, it's on Facebook, it's easy to find. There's a wealth of activities taking place in that forum. There's, as she mentioned, the lunch and learns, and there's webinars on almost every single topic. And she doesn't just take the people that are in my backyard to come and speak to you. She's taking people from all over the world, and some of them are here, some of them are not. But the beauty is that you're accessing a group of people, and quite a few of these are totally freebies. We like those freebies,
Yes.
where it can start your thoughts going as to, are there is there anything else that I could do that I could enjoy?
Mhm.
Whether it's in health and fitness, whether it's in catering. Actually, I remember this woman that does, I can't remember her name, but she does, oh, what's the name? There are all kinds of desserts, but for people that are gluten free and all of those
Yes,
elements.
yes, yes.
And,
The
and, I-
end
and
of
I
the
was looking at this, often if you're not into the gluten free, you're like, oh, that sounds like it. Yeah, not exciting.
Yes.
But then she was showing you not just the packaging, the way she was doing it. And you're like, oh, I wish I could have some of that. And
That's
it's just
right.
like, who knows? Maybe one of those things is your passion. And it's seeing, because almost every single one of us are doing something
Mm,
currently in our work environment where someone else is looking at you and saying, oh my God, I could never do this.
that's
And
right.
for you, it's like, poof,
Yeah.
but you've never thought, oh, could I do more of that? Not only it
Mhm.
nurtures my soul, but at the same time, it could assist someone else.
That's right.
So, yeah, I would say try her, you know, go check, the She Did It community. I think it's a open forum, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Okay.
public,
So,
the free community. Absolutely. And we do have a paid membership that's going to be launching very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. But the free community will always be there and open to any woman, whether you're in business or not. You can be inspired by what others are doing. You can support by buying their products and services. You can get something that will help you personally and professionally. So, yeah, so come join us. We'd love to have you. We're at 707, I think, right now. So, hey, the more the merrier.
I know, and I have to be honest. Every now and then, there's those things where you say, "Oh, I don't have time to watch it right now." Save it,
That's
and then
right.
come back,
Come
and
back
then
later.
start looking. There's tons of information in there, and I
Yeah,
know for myself, there's elements where you think you're good at doing something, and then you see someone else do it, and it's like it's even easier the way you do it, and you're like, oh, I just saved myself another hour in my day or something
that's
else.
it.
And that's the part. It's
Absolutely. Yeah,
about growing together, it's about learning together, it's about stretching
yeah.
our minds and stretching our perspectives, and who knows, get the life you've always dreamed of.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what we want. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to, trust me, I'm telling you, just for me, and you don't have to be like me. I don't want to die thinking, I wish I could.
Mm, so
I
true.
want to feel like I've done it. I've
That's
done
right.
it. And if there's anything I'm missing, it's something so minor that I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm good with it.
That's it. Love
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
My
Kareen, for being
pleasure.
here for this conversation.
Thank you so much
And
for this platform. You are
my
just a joy, Paula. Like every time we connect, I just want more of Paula.
Thank you. I didn't pay her to say that, but
No,
it's true. We actually have quite a few conversations, and it's one of those where someone says something, then the other one continues, and it feels like by the time you get out of the conversation, just like, oh, I feel like I've been blessed. I
that's
feel like I've
it.
received gifts. And if you feel like it's been a while since somebody thought about you without wanting something in return, check the community. I have no
Yes.
parts in it. I'm not going to pretend I'm not getting anything, but check it out, because as a moody enhancer, has a soul filler, it might be something that helps when I'm debating whether this is even what I want for me. So
Wow, thank you so much, Paula. That is such music to my ears and such blessing to my heart because that is definitely the vision for the group. And we want people to feel that, and that it's not about your business, it's about you, the
yeah.
person behind the business. And so we welcome you and celebrate you in, whatever state that you are, So just
And we don't make comment about good hair day and bad hair day. So don't worry. Just show up
that's it.
and
You can have
whatever
your camera
question.
off. You don't even need to put your camera on if you come in for networking or for any webinar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you very much. Hope you
My
heard the
pleasure.
message. Go try it. There's nothing to lose.
That's
And
good.
we'll see you next week. Same place,
Yay.
same time. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you again.